Welcome out. This is it, the last episode, not of It's All Been Trucked Before, but of the original series on It's All Been Trucked Before, as we discuss Turnabout Intruder, the finale of the original series. Speaking of things that aren't going to be the finale, speaking of things that have been going on a long time, a lot longer than Star Trek, the good, the bad, the geeky, or GBG as the hip cats call, it is a pop culture podcast that's been around for a whole decade. Sometimes there are movie and TV discussions with a variety of guests. Sometimes host Nick Argan just gives his thoughts in a short drive-by, and under current Ohio law, he does it hands-free, so don't worry, it's safe. You can get your pop culture stuff from Nick. He'll be safe, you'll be safe. Check it out. The good, the bad, and the geeky. While you're there, don't forget to support us. Patreon.com/IABD. That's a great way to get that extra content. You'll be all caught up on all of our podcasts and all the behind-the-scenes shenanigans and what's coming next. Speaking of, if you're not somebody who wants to be up-to-date, but kind of, take your time leisurely, Quarterly Book Club. It's Quarterly Book Club. Why quarterly? Because you're busy. Books, they're long. Rounding out the historical nonfiction year, this is for the fourth quarter. They're now reading Quackery, A Brief History of the Worst Ways to Cure Everything by Lydia Kang. Did you know doctors used to give crying infants morphine? I didn't know that. Tell people to drink liquefied gold? I think I knew that. Prescribe strychnine for ED? That I did not know. I don't even know what ED is, that, to be honest with you. So read along and join the discussion on social media with the hashtag QBC. Check out the Quarterly Book Club and all our programming at IABDpresents.com. And now check out the final episode of the original series as we break it down on It's All Been Trucked Before.
Thank you for coming out to another episode of It's All Been Trucked Before, the final episode, not of the podcast, we still have hundreds of episodes
years and years.
But the final episode of the original series. First impressions.
Do we have to introduce ourselves? Or we...
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, this is Stephen.
Thank you, Colleen.
On our final voyage of the original series. This is Stephen.
I'm Sam.
Colleen.
Jimmy-Jerome. Yeah, sorry. Thank you. First impressions now.
Well, my first impression is that you're not very professional. No, I'm just kidding.
That's true. That's an accurate statement.
I'll let the Star Trek experts go first.
I still liked it. I think I liked it a lot more when I was younger. We'll get deeper into all the male-female issues, but it's almost more of a courtroom drama than anything. Everyone's an attorney this episode.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, and again, for season 3, I would say I liked it more than... I don't want to say a lot, but more... yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I didn't think it was nearly as bad as I thought it would be, which is not to say it's good. Just...
yeah,
I want to be really clear there.
And the ladies can chime in on this better than I can, but I really thought I was going to have to watch Shatner's performance with my hands over my eyes, and I didn't think it was as bad as... There are people out there that hate it, and I know 40 years ago, 35 years ago, the Star Trek community was like, oh, it's so good, and I'm like... And then, since then, there's more people like, no, it's terrible, but I think... And maybe, I don't know, I could be wrong. Some of that plays... We all took notes about there are some other issues going on. Similar to the sexism we've talked about for 79 episodes now.
I mean, I took about half as many notes as I did for the last episode.
Same here.
And, there was rampant sexism, but overall, I thought Shatner did a decent job acting.
I did too. I thought he was playing a crazy person, but ladies, you weigh in.
We all look at these older movies and TV shows from the lens of what's happening now.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So now it's like, oh God. What? So, and one of the notes I took was, of course, you can't have sexism without associating a woman or female emotions with hysteria.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, ha, jerk. So,
Yeah, it felt to me like every this can get edited out. Every Republican's idea of what would have happened if Hillary had been elected.
yeah,
She'll get her period and go crazy. That's exactly what it felt like.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, oh my gosh, this is still how it... What's so sad is this a lot of how...
50 years later?
Females are still viewed in that same manner. I'm like, are you kidding me?
The problem is, a lot of us now view females differently, so we have to make America great again and go back to that time where they were viewed properly.
Put in our proper place.
You guys are going to be really shocked to hear this, but this episode was written by a man, Arthur Singer.
Okay. It's a Roddenberry story, though, right?
They're both credited.
Okay.
Roddenberry's credited.
And I feel like in my mind that Roddenberry was trying to backwards address a lot of the issues that he couldn't address earlier, and we've talked about the ways sci-fi writers, but Twilight Zone did it better, but even Trek did a lot of ways, like, all right, here's a current social, like, let that be your last battlefield and stuff like that. And I think he was like, okay, I have not addressed this appropriately enough, even though I've got an officer on board, her and many more women involved. It's still pretty much, he pretty much right off the bat, he's like, even in the 23rd century, it's a man's world.
So,
right off the bat.
Women can't be captains.
So I think I was trying to think this through because clearly Star Trek has retconned that there have been female captains prior to. Captain Giorgio Filippa in Discovery. This is set 10 years before this. And in The Cage, we had a woman first officer, and I don't think you'd have a woman first officer without implying a woman couldn't be a captain.
Right.
But however, at this point, they had not aired The Cage.
Yep.
That's still true. The unaired, forgotten pilot.
That's true.
So they could pretend that.
But in the Menagerie, do they show her as the first officer?
You know what? They do.
Yeah.
You're right. I was going to say you could justify it by saying the original series it wasn't canon.
Yeah.
You're right. So this contradicts even the original series on canon about women in command. So my only way of justifying that, and I get it to stretch, is she is looking for some reason to blame them for not letting her in the command track, and she's claiming sexism, and they know she's wrong, but Kirk's just going to be like, let her have it. Because I'm not going to anger her further.
Right.
That's my best guess.
I think that's not a bad angle, and I think...
Because otherwise it doesn't make any sense, because there are definitely females in command positions within Star Trek.
I think that's... The unfortunate thing is where it's a weird trap of you almost can't do a show where this woman is mad because she feels like she was passed over without it being a... Well, yeah, of course, a woman's going to react that way, rather than... Because we all know people in whatever capacity like, I got passed over this. If it was a man-man thing, it's like, because how many angry Starship captains have we had already that hate Kirk from things?
There's also a level to that.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
That a woman can't be angry without a love interest.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's Kirk being her love interest was, of course, why she was angry.
Of course.
Woman can't be angry for any other reason. Hell hath no fury. Bitches be tripping and all that.
You're right, yeah.
So, but that, why couldn't she just be mad for her career?
Yeah.
She had to have a love angle.
You're right.
It's ridiculous.
I've had many women angry at me for the one and not the other.
I don't disagree. However, I also feel like we could spin this into the same where she's claiming she's a woman. She wasn't promoted, that now she's looking for other people to blame as well, and Kirk she gets fixated on. Now, I agree, it would be a better story if you took out those
But you're right, that's an easy trope.
You're absolutely right. It's a trope.
Easy trope.
I'm just trying to explain story-wise.
Yeah.
Don't mansplain things to me.
The Sam, if you were around for the 1960s, you would understand.
Well, and she throws out they were together a year, which, again, was like, okay, they went through something intense and that.
Yeah.
But I feel like when we talk about Kirk's past women, we never talk about Janice Lester. Because
why would you want to talk about Janice
forgot
Lester?
that they've been together for a year.
Why would
until
you want
today.
to talk about it?
Well, that also gives an implication that we know Kirk's a bit of a player, but it's okay for him to be a player. He's not mad about it. But girl,
I mean,
one love and that's it.
I wrote down a couple lines that really did not hold up. The indignity of being a woman. Better to be dead than to live alone in the body.
I wrote that down.
Yeah.
I wrote that down.
I was like, oh god.
So that's where any justification we can make that it's not really sexism, it's in her brain, falls apart, because those were other characters.
Well, and I think if the line was, I might as well be my chances of being a Starship captain as a woman might as well be, I have no shot. But the way it was said is just like, oh, no, it's terrible. It's cringeworthy.
Slightly more subtle sexism I noticed when Spock was trying to escape with Janice Lester, Kirk, for the first time, he's holding her hand as he leads her in the corridor. In a way we see Kirk and Spock do to women that they rescue, but had that been actually Kirk, he would not be holding her.
Right. The episode essentially is a Freaky Friday situation. Which Freaky Friday ripped it off again.
I mean, that's the whole message of this podcast, that everything rips off Star Trek.
Actually, the actual effect, or the visuals are very similar.
To Freaky Friday,
The only thing missing was them both saying at the same time. What is it? I wish I was my mom. I wish
we could change bodies just for one day or something.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Like that.
I don't know, but
I only know the Jodie Foster version.
Why did they trade back at the end? It was like they were in the middle of a random activity, and then all of a sudden it was like... boop, boop, boop,
They
boop.
said that it was only temporary. It was slipping.
Oh.
I think it was weird when they were in their prison and Spock is like
Manipulating
massaging
it?
the neck. I was like, what prompted that?
Yeah.
Was Spock like, I'm a woman, I have tense muscles, massaging? And then all of a sudden it was like, that was really weird.
Maybe, actually it was like, maybe you just need to relax. woman.
No, I thought he was trying to do like another Vulcan mind melt or some variation of that and release her mind.
Right, and like I understand it, but like when you first see him, she's like rolling her head back and forth. I was like, why is he giving her a massage? So weird.
It was Spock's only chance to grope Kirk. He's going to take advantage.
Yeah, right.
Just know if anyone takes over your body or whatever, just know.
Massage it out.
Nice massage.
Massage
Just relax. And
You'll be able to tell that a woman has taken over my body when they're sitting there filing their nails. As all
that one. That was the like.
Oh my god.
Because when I was reading up and remembering it, I'm like, Shatner was gonna be sashaying around.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, he didn't really do that. I mean,
there were a couple of moments.
There were, and the filing the nails was
That
the
was
moment.
really
But lots of other times he's just playing a crazy person. But in the overarching of the episode, it's a woman and she's crazy.
I really loved, and this may have been my favorite Shatner moment of the episode, when they first switch bodies and he goes to make the communicator call. The stall, like waiting for somebody else to act, realizing he has to act, making the call, being awkward, like jumping a little bit when Scotty's voice comes
and
over.
he says, Captain Kirk.
Oh, repeatedly.
Yeah.
I thought that
Kirk.
the whole scene was really well done.
Well, and we've seen, again, this is another thing we've seen a lot in the 79 episodes, Kirk being taken over by another body, and we didn't see the, I have this new experience. It's just like, no. Which I guess makes us know that Janice Lester was pretty smart on some level, that she knew that was going to happen, or she'd done it before.
She'd probably done it.
There had to be
the
trial
practice,
runs.
yeah.
Did they say she pretty much sent people out to die?
Yeah.
Okay, so at the end when he's like, I'm going to take care of her, she's not getting off scot-free.
Yes. Yeah, that was a little strange, too, that they didn't try to lock her up, and Kirk's like, we'll take care of her. I understand her. You know, being in a woman's body for a day makes me understand her now, so we'll go
That
easy
movie,
on
What
her.
Women Want, with Mel Gibson.
That's where you can you read their minds, right? Or hear their thoughts?
Yeah, you can hear their thoughts.
Janice was, we mentioned a couple tropes, but she was such a stereotypical villain. Even as she was blatantly saying, after we all saw them switch bodies, now Janice Lester takes the place of Captain Kirk. Like, it's just, right. It was so ridiculous. Like, we got it. You don't need to set. She
Why
was
are
just.
we narrating?
If Shatner had a mustache, she'd have twisted it.
Yes.
Well, he'd have twisted it, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I have you now. I'm jumping around now, but I like the tortured relationship of Coleman and Lester. Because he was so willing to go to bat for her and kill the body of the woman he loved to be with Shatner, to be with Kirk.
So, women aren't the only people that do stupid things for love.
Yeah,
Right?
well, yeah.
Men in onesies do too.
I mean, the whole...
That's an outfit we've seen many times in the original series. They're making a comeback, right? You can buy the onesies.
Yes, the terry cloth.
Yes.
Short onesies for men.
Yes.
Does she say, I was hoping I'd never see you again?
Yes.
I enjoyed that line. Because, we're for our Valentine's Day show at the James, our theme's going to be, you're the worst thing that ever happened to me. So, again, Fight Club stole that. I was hoping I'd never see you again.
What? So they never established what her... In the very beginning, when Kirk is talking to her before the body switch, he was like, basically, I would never have taken away your space work.
Yeah.
Like, what space work do you do?
This almost feels like
I mean, she was in charge of a station. That's command.
It's
But, like,
is she
it's
like
space work.
Is she the first go at Carol Marcus because she's a doctor on a space?
Oh, I didn't think about that.
And then they just improved on Carol Marcus.
I
and
mean,
made her not
Carol
evil.
Marcus wasn't insane, so
Yeah.
I like Carol Marcus a
And
lot.
he and Carol were together at Starfleet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
They were
so
together young.
like
Because they
Janice
have a
Lester.
son.
So
yeah.
So I think it was important space work.
Important space, like space psychology. And
If Janice Lester hadn't gone crazy or whatever, she
Space
could have done the
She could have
space
been
crazy.
Carol
So
Marcus.
she could have been Wrath of Khan. She'd have been the one doing the Genesis project.
yeah.
But she'd have probably lost out
Probably.
and blamed it on being a woman, even though a woman won.
Her love interest.
I noticed there have been no advances in stretcher technology. It's exactly the same.
Well, actually, I think the technology's gotten worse because they could fool McCoy into thinking she had radiation poisoning, and she was perfectly fine.
Yeah, and there were... Speaking of manipulations, the crew obviously knew that something was up for once.
Oh, yeah.
Like other episodes they didn't, but this time, I'm pretty sure. Actually, maybe that part did make sense, but I thought it was interesting when he's like, I can't remember what it was. It was like, well, security's going to go with the captain, so we're in for a real fight.
Yeah, that made me feel
I was like,
icky.
that feels familiar. That feels like dictators, and I'm going to stop
But in
there.
other Star Trek, I don't think we see that in other Star Trek.
No, I
this
think
is
you're
the
right.
One time.
I think you're right, yeah.
I mean, certainly there's a morality and a duty to the fleet that we see other officers uphold no matter what position.
Well, and I did think of it, and I think maybe that's where, again, and this is still going on now, obviously, but, you know, in the 60s, your communism, whatever, capitalism dichotomy, but the whole military strongmen taking over a country or coups happening in countries where all it had to do was have the military and they're all set. So I think that came from that. So yeah, I thought that was...
This is a story that fits in Trump's America.
Yeah, unfortunately. 50 years later, we're still there.
I think I wondered when Kirk first woke up as Janice Lester, why didn't the doctor keep her sedated like he said he was going to? And then it wasn't until he looked at his hands that he realized in her body he didn't recognize the voice when he was speaking, because I think the voice would have been my first impression.
Well, outside, yeah, but on the inside, it still sounds...
It probably sounds like
so.
himself.
I don't think so. That
My inner monologue.
when they put a belt around her, but they didn't belt down her hands, and then she cuts the belt where she could clearly reach the latch.
That made zero sense.
And what was the drink? Was it a sedative that she wanted him to drink? If so,
Yeah.
why not just do it in shot form? And if
Right.
not, why didn't he just drink it?
Right. That part was weird. I just enjoyed it, dumping it out and breaking the glass like it was a bar fight.
I guess, but it just didn't.
No, it was... No, didn't make sense.
And even if there was no way for her to get to a latch, like if it was under the bed or something, I don't know. Like, you just scoot up.
She could, right.
It's
She could just
not
slid right out of
rolling
it.
down.
Oh, it was a loose belt.
Yeah.
This what we missed the last episode where Chapel was blonde because now she's a brunette.
Yes, she is,
and
yep.
she will be for the movies too.
I saw that in the
so
notes, yeah.
We're done with blonde Chapel.
Yep.
End of an era.
I mean, it was always fake blonde anyway, so
Right.
now she went
Right.
back to her natural
Right.
color.
Shatner, of course, gets his shirt off one last time. Last episode.
I guess we should talk about fashion.
Fashion.
So you liked Shatner getting his shirt off one last time?
Of course, and you know, if this episode was truly sexist and what they're out of, well, women know how to dress, he'd ended up in the green wraparound shirt. I mean,
Oh,
come
absolutely.
on, come on.
Absolutely.
So we'll give them
With
that.
the plunging neckline.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he wore it. You know what I'm talking about.
yeah, I
Sam.
was thinking
Mm-hmm.
it.
What did you ladies think of Janice Lester's outfit? It seemed okay. It just seemed very functional.
Yeah, I was glad it was pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was to show that she was a serious woman.
She was a professional.
Yeah.
It accentuated her hips.
Well, it was only because she was going to be played by a man for most of the
Right.
episode.
Right.
She got to wear pants.
Exactly.
Sandra Smith played Janice Lester. What do we think of her
I
performance?
really liked her. I thought her performance was. I thought she was doing a Shatner better than most people do Shatner
Yeah.
or Captain Kirk. I was like, she's really cool.
She did, yeah. She
She
had the
can command my ship.
like, calm, cool,
Like
collected.
when she sat on the chair in the court martial or whatever, she got right into his pose and everything. I thought
I
it
was
was great.
looking for that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah. So wouldn't people? I was thinking like they would probably notice that she's.
And some of her movements were very, very. I thought she did a really good job.
Did a research.
I didn't like her as Janice, and I don't think Shatner matched her Janice, but
Right.
I liked her as Kirk.
That's what. Yeah, I loved her as Kirk.
She's most famous for this episode. She doesn't have a lot of credits.
Yeah, I think she quit like later in the 70s.
75's her last credit.
Okay.
She did The Wild Wild West. She did Manic. She did.
Yeah, she did all those. Yeah.
A few. She's only got 27 credits.
Yeah.
This was her only Star Trek credit. Oh, I remember. So we've got red shirts in the final episode.
We do.
No one
And-
died.
Well, they don't die in every episode. So,
I know.
But I'm saying it would have been really funny as a wink to the fans if the one red shirt was like, heart attack and died. Even though there was no serious danger.
We have the return of Galloway, who died
Yes.
in one episode, came back as
Yeah.
another character and died or didn't die, and then.
Now he's back to being Lieutenant Galloway.
Yeah.
David L. Ross.
And I love he has to go in for Spock's mini mind
I was
meld.
it was that guy. That
Yeah,
went into
and he's
the-
just sitting there like, he's like, "Can I go in?" Certainly. And then he's just standing there like, "What the hell's going on?"
He
here?"
was so awkward. Then the camera goes to him, and we're just like, oh yeah, he's in the room.
And then at the end, he's still like, "I can't let you do that." It's like, you're still an idiot. You just heard all of this. And you're like, I can't. No, I can't let you do that. No. I'm gonna stop you. It's like,
He's
what?
a security bro.
And I've been dead the whole time.
Spock just walks through him. He's like, what?
Yeah, speaking of things, as Spock mentions, or Spock says, we've seen many things that we thought were impossible, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Galloway came back from the dead, for one. But yeah,
Not the only crewman to come back from the dead.
That's true. But when Spock does that argument, Kirk immediately follows with, well, have you ever seen this happen? He's like, he just said we see things that have never happened before. It doesn't matter if it's never happened before.
Right. We had a white Uhura again, sadly.
We did.
Not
It
the
was-
same white Uhura.
It was the return of Barbara.
It was Angela.
Barbara Baldwin. Yes, that's right. Yeah. From
Baldwin.
Balance of Terror and Shore Leave.
Yeah, where she played they didn't name her in this. She's
The
just a
widow.
communications officer.
The
but
widow,
I'd say she's Angela.
The
call
widow
her
Angela, yeah.
The widow Angela.
When they were in...
Not as annoying as other white Uhura.
Oh, you hate other white.
I hate other white Uhura.
When they were in there doing the interrogation,
Mm-hmm.
and they showed her the first time in there, was that a pen or nail file in her hand?
No,
My
stylist.
first-
I think it's that
Okay,
stylist,
my first
yeah.
thought was a nail file.
Yeah.
I was like, they gave her a nail file. She's
No,
sitting around
the whole
doing-
episode, all
because
the women are-
It looks
it
like
does,
a nail
it does.
file. But
Yeah.
it wasn't until they showed it the next time and
Yeah.
she was twisting it in her
Yeah.
hand. I was like, okay.
So-
but I was like, if that was a nail file, I was going to be upset.
So with her role in this, can we assume Nichelle Nichols was otherwise occupied?
She had a singing engagement.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
Yep.
it suddenly seemed like there was a role for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. She had a singing engagement.
Cool.
Also, she kept having to play back the things that people had said.
The hallway thing.
So
Oh my God.
the Patriot Act is in effect
Sure.
on the Enterprise and Starfleet. You can record everybody's conversation.
Anywhere at any time.
That's right. And as I said earlier, everyone's an attorney. So yeah, Kirk, whatever, Lester Kirk is like, you heard it? They're convicted immediately. Blah 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 blah. It's like, that's actually.
Guilty.
Where's Elisha Cook Jr.?
Yes, that would have been good.
When you
Samuel
need,
Cockburn.
yeah. Why isn't there an attorney on the Enterprise?
There should be.
They would
There
have
would
to
be-
be.
there would be.
Probably, and that's the alternate episode. There's an attorney down in they're having another trial, and they still didn't call me? Why am I even on this ship? There's my alternate episode.
Why do I bother?
And the whole McCoy having the deciding vote thing and him, wavering felt very false.
Yeah, it did. That was one of those.
By then, he should have been on board with Spock and Scotty.
Well, and they keep saying there's no scientific evidence. I'm like, so apparently a mind meld is not admissible as scientific evidence, which I guess I can see.
I don't
but
know how she passed the color test.
I don't know what that was.
I don't either, but McCoy seemed pretty certain that it would
Yeah,
prove
well,
something.
I thought I'd find something, but I didn't.
I was going to make a joke, but I don't know if it'll really land. We can cut it up.
Do it.
It's not
Do
funny.
it, yeah.
But I was like, women don't see color, okay? We're much more accepting. Men see color and they kill it. No, I'm just kidding.
Chris cut it out. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you're right. So he should have
was
seen
my-
no color. Yeah. I skipped over this when we were talking about the Freaky Friday effect. I think they used the same sound that. It wasn't quite the, but it was pretty close. It was
It's
cheesy.
funny. I like the big rock and all the pretty designs, and she's like, "Ha!" with the remote.
Yeah.
Like, gotcha, sucker.
Yeah, it looked like the Native American hieroglyphics in Paradise Syndrome.
Yeah, probably is.
They probably lit it up. Yeah.
I thought I liked Sulu and Chekhov, putting their hands down and not doing anything.
Yeah.
But it also reminded me that earlier in the episode, there was another scene where they're sitting there and Chekhov just folded his hands while Sulu was starting course and was doing nothing. And I'm like, what is Chekhov's... I know he's supposed to be the navigator, but why are you just sitting there with your hands folded? Letting Sulu do all the work.
His job is to say, "Yep, we're on course." Sulu does all the other work. Yep.
One does plotting, the other does speed. One,
Yeah.
Yes, but Sulu was doing it all in that moment.
I thought one of the actually good moments, for lack of a better term. So as soon as the switch happens, she's like, "I'm killing you,"
Yeah.
and it just made me think. In my mind, it was just the idea of how and God knows it's still going on now, of men to kill women, abuse women, whatever. How easy it is, and the fact that switch happened, I thought it was kind of just I don't know that it was necessarily I'm a man now, I can kill you, but it was like I'm a man now, it's easier. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, I didn't think it made sense that because I feel like Lester has Kirk's brain, so at that point, Kirk and Lester's body is trained to fight. Mm-hmm. Lester and Kirk's body is not trained to fight. So I thought those fights should have actually been fights, not a pow or slap the glass out of your hand, crack her in the mouth or whatever he did.
But you had her saying, "Oh, look at me, I'm a thin wisp of a woman. I couldn't have fought him. Can you imagine?"
Right.
Which just reminded me of the Top Notch Tag there, Finance Minister Sexist. You're a thin wisp of a girl. I'm a burly man.
Oh yeah. Bring it.
Oh, while we're on that, up until the last Star Trek, Chris Pine, Sandra Smith was the only other person to ever play Captain Kirk.
Ah.
Yeah. Other than the guy on the records.
Well, we've got young Kirk and some stuff. we see him younger.
Oh, well, they did mention them too. Those three guys. Well, the three in Kirk. Do we have young Kirks in the other series?
And the 2009 movie we saw.
That's what they said.
I'm trying to remember.
Up until then, they said she was the only other one. But
okay.
We'll find out along our journey.
I mean, it's quite possible Discovery will be casting it for season 3.
That's true. But
We'll
but there were three people played Kirk in
Yeah.
the 2009 Star Trek. Chris Pine, some young kid, and then a baby that's unnamed. So
who grew up to be Haley Joel Osment.
I was going to say, if there's any 9-year-old babies out there, you might have played Captain Kirk.
You're doing it right.
I think it's Coleman says she is suffering from the delusion of being Captain Kirk.
Yep.
Why would she specifically suffer under the delusion of being Captain
Because
Kirk?
her heart was so broken.
Is that what it
She
is?
just had to take, everything comes back to love, Steve.
I mean, I guess we have talked about everyone in the universe knows Captain Kirk.
Sure.
Whether they were involved with him or they've heard tell of his...
We have seen a lot of X's and stuff, yeah.
Of his exploits. And, oh, you're a legend. You're Captain Kirk. I've heard so much about you.
Harry Landers played Coleman. Did we like him?
I did.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he seemed injured. He seemed really in love with Janice Lester, I thought.
Why can't I just be enough?
He didn't do a lot of... he's got one other big thing, doesn't he?
I was looking through. This is what he's best known for. I didn't see anything that popped
I thought there was
out.
one other thing.
Ben Casey.
No, that's the other thing. Yep, that's it.
So,
yeah.
We talked about, they mentioned Starfleet General Order 4 is the only one that allows execution in this, which I bumped on because obviously with the Menagerie, General Order 7 was the only one on the books that still allowed execution.
Yeah, and that's...
I assume they rescinded General Order 7 after the Menagerie because the way that ended, there wasn't any reason
you're right.
to,
that makes sense.
there wasn't any reason to warn people away.
I read something.
But-
They also thought maybe Sulu and Chekhov just had the wrong number.
It could be. But then General Order 4 must not have been in place during the Menagerie as a death penalty. So after Menagerie, they're like, oh, we have to have one death penalty at a time. If we're taking it away here, we got to put it back on something else.
I mean, there's
and what
always
is
got to be
General
one.
Order 4?
Yeah.
Jaywalking? We don't know. It doesn't say.
Yeah, they don't say.
Taking over a captain's body, is that General Order 4?
Yeah, apparently that's not, because they
don't
did not
execute
apply
anything.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know what would have been the logistics of them actually executing them.
Setting them out of space? Like
Is that-
opening
The jettison button?
Is that... Wow, you guys already had ideas. Yeah. Oh, no, it's clear. This is what I would do.
They'd put him in the pod and then he'd sit on the captain's chair.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Every time someone sits in that chair, I think of that damn jettison button.
I know, right?
Every time someone hits it emphatically, I'm like, oh,
Be
geez.
careful, be
I
careful.
hope nobody's in a
We lost
pod.
another Kermit.
They've had this music before, but Lester's waking up music, or I guess it was Kirk's waking up music, like waking up like, oh, I'm so hungover. I'm in a woman's body. Is that what it's like every day to wake up in a woman's body?
I mean, you
You
make sure
feel-
everything's still there.
Like checking-
okay, I'm still okay.
Like you're checking for keys?
Yeah, yep,
Like where are my
exactly.
keys? Yeah.
Like Austin Powers, testicles, spectacles, swollen and washed.
That's right.
Slightly different ride for women, I would
But they
imagine.
played that little that music they end up redoing in Con.
That's
or
how we
Wrath
wake
of
up
Khan.
red-eyed and bushy-tailed every
And
day.
it's got that music. It's.
I mean, the fact that neither one of them took advantage of being in the opposite gender's body, I don't know why they didn't take some private time in the quarters.
I mean, that's...
I can't remember who did this joke first, but if I woke up in Janice Lester's body, I wouldn't get out of bed all day.
right?
have you guys seen the new Jumanji movie?
No.
No.
Well, Jack Black is a female.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
And when she has to pee for the first time, she's like, guys, this thing is amazing! Him playing a teenage girl is just magic.
It's the real Jack Black was
That's
It
one of those.
hilarious.
seriously is. I highly recommend. It's a fun movie.
So that was
It
better than what we saw here, probably.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
They didn't know this was going to be the series finale. They knew it was going to be the season finale. So, yeah, that's why it didn't have a lot of those.
Well, the parts of it felt season finale, at least with the high stakes of the officers against each other and stuff. That felt a little weightier than most.
It did,
episodes.
which I think helped it. But yeah,
I mean, they had to know it was very likely it was going to be the series finale.
the actors were definitely looking for other jobs, but they didn't. And it was a different era where you didn't usually do series finales unless it was The Fugitive or something like that. You know, so yeah, not a lot of that kind of stuff. But there were definitely some things I'm like, oh, maybe they kind of hit this little note, just in case we're going out. And yeah, the last shot I forgot. I read it before we saw it, but it's Kirk, Spock, and Scotty get on the turbo lift or whatever, and yeah. So
then they added a cool space shot.
Yeah, that was definitely new. That was cool. That's the way to go out.
I mean, I I won't say it totally blew its series finale a la Dexter or Seinfeld, but I'd say it's not a great finale, but it's not a terrible one either.
Yeah, I don't know Dexter. I just heard tell.
It's bad.
I'm a Seinfeld finale apologist, but everyone knows I'm a Seinfeld apologist.
Dexter was a great show with maybe the worst series finale.
That's what I hear.
It's so
That's what I
bad.
hear.
Yeah,
It just completely negates everything you've been watching.
Everything you just watched for this season.
So the original, this story is based on an original novel or short
Called
story.
Friday.
Or tournament or whatever. Essentially the same idea.
With Lindsay Lohan, right?
No,
Yeah, it was-
Jodie Foster was in the original Freaky Friday. I saw it in the theaters, people. With the beautiful Barbara Harris.
As someone that has habited Lindsay Lohan's body in the recent
That's
past.
true. You have experience with that.
I have.
There was a series in the 70s with John Schuck and Sharon Gless where they played a couple that woke up. She was, Cagney. And they switched, and that was the whole series, but it only lasted like a season. It just never, it was one of those everyone's like, this is going to be a hit, and just never took off. But that's my alternate episode is they keep switching back and forth. They don't have a control over it, so they're in the middle of doing something, like the Ramans are attacking, and Janice Lester's back in his body, and Kirk's, wherever she is, I'm just going to go total sexist on it, getting his nails done. Or her nails done. No, I was on the Enterprise! I hope she doesn't screw this up! But yeah,
Then he goes back and he's like, he picked the wrong color.
yeah, exactly. And the Enterprise is in pieces.
Yeah.
Because of course
As it
a
is.
woman couldn't,
As it is.
as we've learned over the years, women cannot.
had she succeeded on her plan, the Enterprise would have crash wrecked.
Oh, it would have, right into an asteroid.
I mean, we learned from Star Trek: The Next Generation. Anytime you let a woman drive the Enterprise, it wrecks.
Yeah.
Deanna Troi has driven the Enterprise twice on screen, and both times she's wrecked it.
See, that's what started the women can't drive crap.
Yep.
Star Trek
started that.
Evolution?
Yep.
No, it was around before then. But yes,
Hey, you said everything rips off of Star Trek.
They do.
So,
It does.
So do stereotypes. So that
Absolutely.
it's everything or nothing.
Absolutely. Did you do your alternate episode yet?
That was my alternate episode. Oh, the alternate episodes, they keep switching back and forth forever. They're stuck.
Forever.
But they can't.
They have no
Do
control over it, which I think would be funny. So she said that she had gotten, like, she's been studying the ship and, like, the regulations. So, cool. There, you can learn regulations, but there's certain things about the ship and its duties and stuff that's gonna, like, she's not gonna have general access to. So how do you know this much about all of this? I call shenanigans.
Well, that's like they get into they mentioned a couple of events. Well, those have been recorded. Anybody could have got to those. No, they couldn't have. No. All right, then why not mention a moment? It isn't recorded.
Right.
Like, not every moment is recorded.
Yeah.
Like,
I
each
would
one
be-
of
I
us
would be
just on the other one to
spouting
get
out-
out of the jail cell or whatever. You know?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I would be spouting out personal information to everyone if I was in someone else's body.
Was that was Spock and Kirk, right?
Yeah.
They could have talked about all the time they spent on Earth and sitting on the edge of forever, and that's not all recorded.
What was Edith Keeler's middle name? I
Yeah,
bet that's
yeah,
on the record.
yeah.
But I bet Spock knows it.
Yeah.
Yep, I'd have been like, nope, this. I'd have been spilling secrets left
Yeah,
and right.
yeah. That, and again, that was just one of those things. Like, we're gonna go around this, kind of like the our previous episode.
No, never mind. That was. I was gonna say it was Spock and McCoy. Spock could just be like, McCoy, you got that mole on your buttocks.
Yeah, that's all I got for season 3.
Yeah, this is a shorter episode. I think it deserves to be.
That's a wrap.
Yeah,
We just gotta do our rankings. So.
because it pretty much just devolves into it's a courtroom drama.
Yeah.
It's literally a mutiny.
But Star Trek's
mutiny
done
on the
better in
bounty.
mutiny courtroom dramas in this series.
as we know.
So.
Yeah.
This wasn't the best of that example.
No.
Men, women of Star Trek. Does Janice Lester do it for you?
I'm gonna pick her only because I loved how much Sandra Smith as Kirk. I really did.
You're one?
I loved what she did. I was surprised.
Kirk is Janice Lester?
Janice Lester, Kirk in Janice Lester's body.
Right, so Kirk is Janice Lester. So you're
Yes.
actually choosing William Shatner's character.
Yes.
Okay.
I am.
Okay. You'd sleep with William Shatner if he was in Janice Lester's body?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I was
Or with Kirk. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd rather be Kirk. But if not short of that, yeah, I'll do that.
I'm sticking with Zarabeth. Sam.
I think I'm gonna stay where I'm at.
Falana. Colleen.
I'm sticking with my dude.
Morgan.
You don't want Coleman?
Okay.
I mean,
Galloway.
Galloway. That's it. He is pretty cute though.
Yeah.
I mean, White Uhura, Angela.
And he's cute and stupid, so I mean, he'd
Yeah.
be great.
And he looks fit. So
Boss him
stamina,
around.
all
Yeah.
that.
So it's her type. No, I'm just kidding.
What do you want? You want me to go to the grocery?
At all.
Yeah, don't come back for a few hours.
Ranking the episode, not at the bottom.
No, I think it's somewhere in the middle.
Let's just...
Because I didn't hate it, that's for sure.
A lot of Troy's All Our Yesterdays.
Yeah, I think it's in that area.
Yeah, so... I mean, I think it was a little better than All Our Yesterdays.
Yeah, I'm cool with ranking above that, because what's right above that? It's,
The Empath?
Yeah, I'd still rank it below that.
Yeah.
For the Empath seems like a hard ceiling.
Do you think it was better than All Our Yesterdays?
Apart from the rampant sexism.
So that's a maybe.
That's not really, but I'll let you guys have it.
I mean, it wasn't a terribly acted. I mean, I thought it was. And again, you have to look at it and it's within its time period.
Sure.
And it doesn't make it okay.
It's still...
Sure.
It's
But...
it's like a chalkboard at times.
But yeah.
Literally, when he filed his nails.
Yeah.
That was... I'd have rather had him looking in a mirror like, how do I look? Which he did a little bit at first, which makes sense. You'd be like,
Rubbing
oh,
the
this is
chin.
weird.
Yeah,
I got a little stubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
Colleen, do you have a one-sentence wrap-up of how you feel about this episode? Can you do your All of Our Yesterdays one first?
Oh, that was I Don't Care, Just Bang the Blonde.
And you and Spock, Bang the Blonde. Zerbeth.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, do you have a one-sentence wrap-up of how you feel about this episode?
I got bored and fell asleep.
I thought I saw you dipping.
By the way, that's also the name of my sex tape.
I saw the glass out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, should I?
Oh, no.
Oh, I started to do that too. I was like, are you...
And we end classy as we've ever been.
Here we are.
We will be back next week with Barbara to talk the last third, and then we'll be back the week after that with our season and series wrap-ups.
And then we're on to the animated series.
And then we're on the animated.
Yeah.
Maybe have a special episode or two in that 6-week break, but we'll see.
Until then, we've made it this far. We made it through season 3. I think there's a good chance we can live long and prosper.
It's All Been Done presents.
Who's got the time?